Mic sync. こんにちは、こんばんは. Minibi here, aka Eiji. So I've been working on this project for a while now. And what is this project? Well, let's give you guys a bit of a context. So one of my biggest hobby is to collect a bunch of fan art from a specific website called Pixiv. And what is Pixiv? Pixiv is basically like a Pinterest, but it's for a Japanese website. It's a Japanese people who basically just post a lot of their illustration on this website. Now, what I do is basically collect that, or at least like save a lot of these fan art into my specific picture folder, and it will be in like for future reference or whatever that I actually use when I draw stuff. But as I keep doing this since like the start of the high school, it builds up really quickly. And because of that, I wanted to create a organizer for myself, because if I try to do it by myself, it's gonna take ages. So that's what I have decided. Let me get started on that. So what library I used? I used Apache Commons.io, or that series, and the JSoup. So at first I basically point out where I keep my fan art, which is here, Otaku Fan Arts. Nice name. And then it also pre-makes a specific folder called the original. Now the reason why is because a lot of the artists in the Pixiv has their own original arts. And what happens is that I want to actually organize some, the one that specific artists that I actually like. And to do that, I actually need to pre-create that folder before I actually do any organization, or else it would just F up a lot of the stuff. So that's what it does. Basically, pre-create that original file. Next, this is the filtering system that filters only the JPEG, PNG, and GIF, and puts it into the list of file array. Nice. Now from there, it will go through the loop and separates the actual data that I need. So what happens is that each picture or each file is actually provides a 8-digit code with a log number. And if I actually plug in this 8-digit code into my URL, it actually provides me that actual specific link for that fan art. It's very nice, and it really eases out a lot of my organization. Thus, what I did was I actually separated. So what I decided was I used this as a separator, and separates the 8-digit code from the plog and the other actual data, and plug it into the URL and check for the response. Now with this response.status code, it will provide me either two options. It provides me a 200 or any other like random number like 404, classic 404. And if it provides 200, it means that the URL is alive and we can actually collect the data from that. If it's not, then it's dead. We don't need to collect it from there. Alright, good. Now if it's 200, we got the data, or we know that it's alive, we can start collecting the data from the URL, and that will be saved into doc. From there, I will collect the title and separate it into a specific array with, again, using the split. Why? Because it basically this is basically the format: theme, title, dash, artist, dash, and Pixiv. And what I need is the theme, and the artist. At first, I was thinking of using the title, but the title of the fan art isn't really useful for organization. Theme is actually a lot more useful, and mainly I would rather use theme for organization, because there's a lot of common themes out there. Like a good one is the original. Now the issue with this though is that Actually, I'm gonna go through the issue later. But yeah, let me just keep going through it. So file full name, list of files. So what it does is I'm just gonna collect the file name from the list of the files here. Then the main theme of the art, which is here, and the artist of the art, which is here. Now from there, I'm gonna have to modify this title because I'm gonna be using this title to create the new folder. Now the issue with that though is that sometimes the title or the main theme of that art would have a specific character that could interrupt the code from creating a new folder. Some of them is the star, the dash, the question mark, etc. So what I decided was create a function that would basically just, replace all that value into dash. I could have used space, something else, but whatever. I decided to just use dash because it was much simpler. So it will basically do that so that whenever I need to create that specific destination, it will just make my life so much easier and doesn't have any error when I create that new folder. So from there, it will go. Next one would be the mover function. So what this does is it basically provides the destination. Let me go there quickly. Boop. Right here. So this is a bit more specific when it comes to the destination. What happens is that as I have explained earlier, I want when the art itself is basically if the art's main theme is original, what's gonna happen is that I want to actually organize it to the specific artist I actually like. So what this does is that if the title or the theme is the original, it's gonna check the artist to see if it matches to any of these artists I actually like. Man, it could have been much simpler. I could have used something else. What do you mean by that? Well, I'll get to that later. So it basically organizes these with it basically checks if there's any of these similar value, or at least if there's any similar illustration text out there. If it is, we're gonna set this as our destination. If it doesn't, we're just gonna set it as original, and that's it. So that is the original method, and it will basically set the destination for that specific original. If it doesn't, it will just puts in the title, and that would be our or the theme title, and it will basically just set our destination there. Now from there, after that, it will basically check if the folder pre-exists. If it doesn't, it creates that new folder, and it will put it into that specific location. If it doesn't, if it doesn't, it creates it. If it does, boom. From there, it creates the it sets the destinations with the file name. We're gonna move to that location and returns that destination URL back or string to here. Next, set the target, which is gonna be our file full name, and basically moves that file to that from the target to the destination. If the URL fails, it will basically just print out the name of that file that failed or has a defective URL. How does this happen? Well, the artist just takes off the art from their list, and that happens, and prints out that, and yada yada yada. So here is the result that I did basically. So all these hashtag of these are basically just provide like all the themes of it, and like as you can see, it's a lot. It's a lot there. So there's a couple issues with this code. What happens is that a good example we have here is Hatsune. So what happens is that each person just puts their own theme in there, right? And this can be an issue because what happens is that they can put in Hatsune or Miku, Hatsune Miku, and Hatsune Miku in Japanese, English, and sometimes they're all capitalized, sometimes they're all like lowercase, and then sometimes they just have 39 to indicate Miku. And it's like, even though they're the same theme, it doesn't register it as the same theme. Like, again, I can actually code that in and just say that, okay, that is going to be same thing, but it's just a lot and it can be annoying to like deal with. Another thing is that sometimes the log that we have here, sometimes they're gonna have multiple art within that same URL, and there's gonna have multiple theme in there. It can have Helsing, Hatsune, Monster, Nectar, like SCP, SD, and if I'm trying to organize that, it's going to be impossible, because what this does is that it basically just collects the this title only collects the first theme within that URL, and basically just say, oh, that is the whole theme then. At first I was thinking of just reading this like all the themes and basically just guess and say that, hey, you know what, we're just gonna try and organize it from there. But the issue with that though is that, one, it's just more complexity and it's just a pain in the crap to deal with. Not only that, but I just couldn't read this area somehow because JSoup just doesn't want to collect that kind of data, I guess. It's in the end, I just couldn't find that data. I've been working on it for 2 days and I just couldn't find that. So I just ended up, you know what, just make it a lot more simpler and just go with the title and just go with it. I gave up. Another issue with this code is that, as you can see, there's a lot of folder with just one fan art, which is just plain annoying. I would just say that much. Why? It's just a waste of space. It's definitely organized and like, it looks messy, but it's definitely a lot more organized than before. But it's not good, or at least it's not complete yet. And what I'm planning to do now is that, or at least for the future plan, is that after all these organization is finished and it just like finishes up all the folders, it like organizes all of that for me, what I'm planning to do is gather, like, check each folder and check if each one if these folder has only one file in there. If that happens, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just gather that whole folder into that one like specific folder, just name it as 1.1.1. Basically just saying that this is a folder where it has a bunch of folders with that one file. Yes. Or else it's gonna take ages for me to organize it and it's gonna be a pain. So what I'd rather do is just, you know, gather that one specific one file, one folder into that one specific giant folder and basically just organize it for me. That's my future plan. But for now, this works, kind of, but it's better than doing it by myself. That is the best thing I can just say, because that saved basically tons of hours of my effort, just, you know, just making it much more simpler for me. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my show, like, fan art organization code thing. I'm just gonna say it as this is the organizer that I created. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys want to use this organizer, I'll link the GitHub link at the description below. The only thing you'll have to change is the file location. Like, yeah, what you're gonna have to do is, yeah, the only thing you'll have to change is the file location. Probably, like, you're gonna have to change 3 location here, and one more down here. Probably, like, yeah, this one. So organize that, or change the destination and the target, and I think you're good to go. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Yeah. I'll post another log if I finish creating the folder concentration, or yeah, folder concentration. Yeah, I would just name it that. So I'll create a new log if I attach the new folder concentration into that, and hopefully that would help me with that crap. Like, look at that. It's like, it's nice, but goddamn, there's just so many with just one file. Like, there's so many folders with just that one file. It's definitely better than before, but just it's oh my god, it's a pain sometimes. And this is what happens when you're trying to organize a fan art created by a lot of the users. It's beautiful though. All these fan arts, I just love all these fan arts. It's beautiful in so many ways, and I love it. So I'm actually happy that this is actually quite organized. Like, it looks messy as well. Like, but it was even messier before. This is like one big step. Alright? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.